So my decision to go to Uganda this year wasn't an easy and fast decision. It was just days before that deadline that was due, and I was walking into my closet that morning to do quiet time, and I said out loud, God, please help me understand if I'm supposed to go to Uganda this year. And I sat down and I got out my bulletin to do the reading, and it was Matthew 28, and I opened my Bible, and the only thing on both pages underlined was the Great Commission. And there was one word that was boldly underlined, and it said go. And about 2 months before we were supposed to leave, I was doing my monthly blood work, and it came back that the cancer marker had jumped up again. And I get a call from my doctor, and he's telling me that it's up too high, that we immediately have to start chemo again. And he just said to me, he's like, the number's up high enough that symptoms can start happening with this disease. And I'm just telling you that if these things happen to you when you're in Africa, I do not think you can get the medical help you need in time. And I'm telling you right now that I just feel like, you know, your life is at stake if you go over there. There'll be another time for this. And I just didn't have peace with that. And so the people around me in my life, my friends, my family, just started praying about it. And my husband and I would pray every night, and we'd just say, God, please help us understand what we're supposed to do. If I'm supposed to go on this trip, then Lord, just clear the path, because this is way too big for us to fix or figure out. Things just started to happen, and we decided we needed to do some scans, and those came back, you know, good. And then we had to do a surgery, and that came back with no evidence of disease. And we had to do an MRI to make sure everything was okay in the brain, and that came back clear. And so just week after week, we started doing these things, and everything started falling in place. Like God was answering that prayer. He was clearing the path. It was the week before we were supposed to leave for Africa, and my doctor finally called me. And I knew in my heart, like by this time I just knew I was going, but he hadn't given me that release yet. And he called me and he's like, we've done everything we can to make sure there isn't a reason to keep you here, and I'm okay with it. Go on your trip, and then you get back and we start chemo. We were at a Koa refuge, and we were just doing projects there, but they were having their pastor conference that week, and so these pastors had gathered, and they just did hours and hours of Bible study with Joby and a couple of the other people on our team. And after a full day of that, they weren't ready to run out and go, you know, wherever they were going or to go eat. They asked if they could pray for any of us. And
today we are asking for you pastors to pray over her and claim healing in Jesus' name.
The pastors came up and surrounded us, and they put, you know, their hands on me and their arms around me, and they came up and they just prayed with a passion like I've never seen before. Like they were truly crying out to Jesus as their only option. It was just desperate, and it was just a love of a relationship that they have with their Lord. And it was just a humbling and amazing experience. And I came back, and you know, I can't say that it was gone, because it wasn't, but we did blood work again, and that cancer marker that had been jumping up like crazy before their trip had all but stopped. So we did start chemo, and it was hard, and it was, you know, this 5-drug regimen where I had to be in the hospital, but it continued to just be so many answered prayers, because he carried me through it. He walked beside me every day. He gave me strength. You know, he protected my body, and I'm sitting here today healthy, and I believe that's because of many, many answered prayers. I think Jesus just wants us to cry out to him on anything, no matter how little or big it is. Just take it to him in prayer, because he's, you know, nothing is too big for him. Just have faith in his timing and his answer.